Hi. So this is a series of question and answers where I put up a post on YouTube asking the audience any questions that they want to ask me, and then I answer those questions the following Friday. So let me quickly dive down to these questions, and thank you so much for asking these questions. Let's begin. I asked Kanta Bisoi 5348. Hello, I'm a 17-year-old guy who has been obsessed with motorcycles for the past 2 years. I've been riding my mother's scooty since a year and a half. We have a Thunderbird 350 that my father bought in 2015. It was unused since the last 2 years, and a few months ago I got it back into running condition by myself, just by following tutorials on YouTube, like recharging batteries, cleaning a carburetor to stop leaking, etc. My question to you is, how do I know if this is just a fleeting passion that lasts for a couple of years or it's actually something serious? Like right now, I don't think anything else gives me as much joy as motorcycle does. But will it last? Also, what was your story? How did your passion for riding begin? Good question. Once you start riding a motorcycle, that's a very good Thunderbird by the way. Once you start riding it, there is no going back. The feeling is incomparable to anything. It is just a pure feeling of joy. What was my story and how did my passion for riding began? Well, thanks to my relatives who used to give me a lot of motorcycles, my mama, my uncle, and a lot of toys growing up, watching the Terminator Judgment Day, when watching Arnold Schwarzenegger just jump off that railing on a Fat Boy, 1992, it was a cool factor. I used to have so many toys growing up. So yeah, that's how my passion began. Alright, next question, web of rides. Looking away isn't really an option on narrow roads. Do amber glasses help? Are there any visor films that might help at night? Good question, but my advice to you would be ride slow, because if you're riding fast and if you're unable to see what's ahead of you, yeah, you put two and two together. However, if you're riding slow, you might be able to save yourself on time and just squint your eyes, because amber glasses might help in certain cases, but they might not in certain other cases. I'm especially talking about when the light from the ambient source is also very high. So everything would be amber. I won't just cut things down. I tried using it for a little while, but I was quite uncomfortable with it. That's just my answer to it. Just be vigilant, ride a little slow, and be a little careful. And there is no way to deal with these just don't get me started on that. Those LED guys are a nuisance on the road. I do wish that I should put some really high wattage LED stadium lights on my motorcycle and just blind these. Let's move on. Vishwajit Roy. Namaste sir. First of all, happy recovery. Hey, look at this. I can do it. Thank you so much for your wishes. If both Himalayan 750 and BMW 450 GS launch at the same time with similar price, which would you choose and why? Also, which motorcycle does your heart like and which one does your mind? I would definitely go with the Himalayan 750 because of the service network of Royal Enfield. That'll be it, and can't wait for that to launch. It looks pretty good. And the second part is which motorcycle does your heart like and which one does your mind? Well, heart likes and the mind likes. The Himalayan is just for practicality purpose, and it is really easy to tour on that. That's why I bought the Himalayan in the first place. This is good. This is my prized, Next question, the One Cat 6. Bonjour, I am currently in hunt for riding gears and saw two types of armors, the integrated armor and the separate ones. I did some research and a lot of those foreign adventure YouTubers seems to prefer the separate ones, where they usually wear the protective base layers and then wear the jackets or pants. So far, there isn't a lot of information about this on YouTube, and would definitely want your opinion on this. And if it were you, how would you decide between those two? Good question. I am going to make a video on these armors in the coming weeks, and basically there are two kinds of armors as far as my research goes. One is D3O armor and the other one is SASTEC armor. The main key difference between them is, although the similarity is, they both protect you from abrasion and impact. However, the main difference is the D3O armor, you need to replace those once in 3 to 4 years, and the SASTEC armor, you need to replace them once in 10 years. And plus SASTEC is really light. I'm going to make a video on this. Thank you for asking this question, by the way. All right, next one. Ankit 95 598. Hi Shri, love your content man. Some of the changes you suggested like clutch sleeve, bench seat and handlebar risers are absolute game changers. Just saving up for Powerade short cans. Hope they sound good. Haha. Also, is it too loud with the baffles in for weekend rides? No, they're not too loud. And you can listen to these exhaust sounds in this video right here. Me personally, I prefer to ride with the baffles all the time and I only remove them for demonstration and YouTube video purposes. That's all. Otherwise, it gets a little too loud. But with baffles, it's just chef's kiss. Okay, next one, Dranzer R. I thought about buying a second-hand Interceptor, but because of ethanol blending issue, I'm reluctant to buy 2018, 2022 models. What do you suggest? Should I go for a second-hand one or save up for a new one? If you suggest a used bike, what issue should I be prepared for because of ethanol? Alright, don't worry about ethanol too much. I mean, if you see my reel on Instagram and on YouTube, I was not against ethanol or the lack of ethanol. I was just pro-choice. The choice to use between XP95 and XP100. But how do you deal with this is use fuel injector cleaners once every 600 to 800 kilometers and just put that on your fuel tank. Once it's full, it will just clean up everything. Include that in your routine. That is all. That you can't do anything much about it. Alright, next one. Gagandeep UL7JY. Although I have asked this before, but I'll ask again. Those side bags on your Interceptor looks dope. But what's the use case of such accessory? I mean, I'll be looking over mine if I had put something in it and the bike was out of my sight. Nice videos, wish you a speedy recovery, big bro. And don't forget, we got to take a picture with our bikes side by side. You mean this accessory right here? It is pretty utilitarian and it does come with a zip so you can lock it in place. And there is a latch also that you can do it. You can lock it, but and it's really convenient to put your toolkit in it. It's in a shabby condition, but I like it this way. It is handy and has a lot of tools in this, which helps me open things up and put them back in. This comes not only in handy in case of carrying tools, but also carrying some random items which your friends or relatives might give. Just put them in here. Why to put them in your t-shirt? That's what it is. And as far as you looking over your shoulder, looking at your bike all the time, there is no cure for that. It'll just happen. The best line of defense is anonymity. So if nobody knows what's in the bag, and if you are nonchalant about it, why would someone else bother to look into it? So get one. Alright, next one. Akshay Benizar. Is the BSA Gold Star 650 any good? I wanted to buy the Interceptor initially, then thought of the Bear 650, then thought I'd wait for the 750s, etc. Unable to pick one as I plan to own it for a long time. Should I get over FOMO and pick something or wait till the 750s are launched? Also, any thoughts on the Bullet 650? Love your content, keep it up. Yes, the BSA Gold Star is pretty good, although it's a single cylinder one. And if you are a nostalgic person and you love the feel of a that's an Interceptor, by the way. And if you are a nostalgic person and if you really love the retro charm of things and if you really want to go with British Small Arms Company, the BSA, go for it. It's a good bike. Regarding you waiting for the 750s, look, it's a never-ending game. As you wait for the 750s, as the date comes closer, there will be some new bike that will be launched and that will look just as tempting. So yeah, my suggestion to you would be go for a test ride. That will help you decide which one do you want. And once you do decide which one do you want, just get that thing. Because once you own a really good looking retro bike, doesn't matter which one it is, you won't have FOMO, you will have ROMO. That would be relief of missing out. Because everything else will just seem like a moot point. You would really love your motorcycle and just stop comparing your motorcycle to something else. Just enjoy the ride first. That's only that I'm trying to say. Alright, moving on. ROMO. क्या यार इतना बकचोद क्यों हूँ मैं? Alright, Shalini Charan 2151. Hey Sri, Mark here. First of all, big fan, really love your videos. My question is, I'm 5'9" and weigh around 100 kilos. I was thinking to get the Interceptor 650 and this would be my first bike. But many people suggested me that I have no prior experience with big CC bikes. So should I go for Interceptor or Classic 350? Thank you and get well soon. Well, the Interceptor is a bit on the heavier side. I would really suggest go for the Classic 350. Get the feel of how the bike behaves and find that friend in your Instagram or your Facebook who has an Interceptor so that on weekends you can swap your motorcycles and actually get the feel of how a 650 feels like. So when you are confident enough that you can handle the 350cc, go on tours, and go on local rides as well, then sell it and get it. All the best. Okay, hello there. Hope you are doing better. Wishing you speedy recovery. I'm not sure if this question fits in this Q&A, but as this is helmet related, I think it does. Any question you ask is part of this Q&A. That's why I started this series. The question is how to reduce wind noise inside the helmet. I ride a Bullet 350. I enjoy it riding at moderate pace, but my current helmet is LS2 Advent X. Tends to give me a lot of noise when I am above 50 kilometers per hour. The noise is like plain engine but not high pitch sound. I understand a modular helmet can get noisy, but 50 km per hour is not that fast, I guess. My previous helmet was MT Stinger V2 that had high frequency wind noise after 70 km per hour. I tried putting balaclava, but it's not helping much. I don't know if earplugs gonna work. Hard thing is finding earplug here in Bangladesh. So here I am asking experts' opinion. Thanks for reading. Get well soon. Well, valid question, very important one. In certain cases, if you're unable to find an earplug, I will also link an Amazon product on the description of this video. That really helps. I'm using those ones. See if you are willing to spend a little money on it, then you can go with no noise ones. No noise ones are those tiny orange color earbuds which has some ceramic tips inside them that really cuts down the wind noise. However, this also leads to partial hearing loss, which can occur due to you listening to high frequency wind noise on your ride for extended periods of time. So yes, do protect your ears, and if you're unable to find anything, the best solution / arrangement for this is use cotton. Don't shove it inside there, but just use cotton. It's comfortable and it blocks out most of the noise. I have done that and it's pretty effective. Thank you for asking this question. I'll make a video on this too. Okay, next one. JMS I6F3P. Hey SG, would you collaborate with other YouTubers like Anurag Salgaonkar or the Incredigrapher? Will you also make more vlogs like Jaisalmer? Hope you recover soon. Thank you so much for your wishes. And yes, the plan is to collaborate with the Incredigrapher and Anurag also if I ever get to Mumbai. I am planning something with the Incredigrapher, Akash Dhawan, and hopefully you guys would like it as well. And as far as me making vlogs like Jaisalmer, yes, there is Ladakh series pending, but this weekly thing is also going on, so that thing will require some time. Right now I'm covering some videos from the EICMA and some daily observation videos that you guys are asking me to make, the Q&A, and that's about it. So yeah, stay tuned. I will definitely make those traveling vlogs. I enjoy those. Alright, Aaron Anu 886. What's best, getting a used Interceptor and modifying it into a scrambler like Triumph Scram 900 with high-rise exhaust, suspension, spokes, etc., or get a new Bear 650? You do the math. The Bear 650 is already a scrambler, and if you get an used Interceptor, you're spending money on that. Then you're spending money on sourcing parts, then you're spending money on fitting those parts on your bike, or you're spending money on fabricating certain parts because not everything will fit. So the cost of maintaining the modified one will go significantly higher. Best is to get a Bear 650 or a used Bear 650. You never know. Thank you for asking this question. Next one. Govat Cal 7888. RTX 300 versus ADV 250 KTM. ADV 250 KTM, I think I need to look into that. But so far, I'll pick the RTX 300. Vinay Ganesh 5032. Hello brother, love the way you speak and you make the content more interesting to watch with that voiceover. Alright, thank you so much for listening to those videos or seeing those videos. Just wanted to ask you that mine is a 2025 Interceptor, 1.5k kilometers done. I use PowerEdge without DB killers with BMC air filter with a stock air plate. I drive in around 3000 to 4000 RPM with no rapid acceleration in city. In normal traffic, I'm getting 17 to 18 kilometers per liter. Any thoughts on that to increase it? What are your thoughts on Edge LJ fog lights mini because the stock headlight has zero throw at night? Appreciate your reply. I ride it with the DB killers and your mileage is never dependent on whatever accessories you install on it, except when you make the fueling really rich. Even if you do keep your RPM at 3 to 4k RPMs, that's fine. It also depends on a lot of other factors like how long have you kept your RPM at a steady rate and how frequently or how not frequently you change your gears. It all comes down to that. Sometimes I get 18 kilometers per liter and sometimes I get about 24 kilometers per liter in city, which is a ballpark. It varies. It always is dependent on external factors. So yeah. And about the fog lights, you have a 2025 one. I think go with the OEM accessory fog lights. Those are pretty good. and those will really help you out. Arthur Morgan 138. Hi, hope you're doing well. It's been a couple of years since I've become a fellow bike enthusiast, and I'm now looking into getting some good gear. I already have a good pair of Rhinox gloves and some basic boots from RE, and a basic helmet as well, of course. Now I'm thinking of getting some other gear specifically for riding jackets, proper riding boots, better helmet, etc. What should I prioritize first, as I cannot buy the quality stuff all at once? Good decision and a smart choice of not going all in. I would say helmet first. Number one, if the helmet is decent enough, move on to riding jackets. If the riding jacket is decent enough, move on to riding boots. If the riding boots are decent enough, move on to riding pants. And then the gloves. Actually, the gloves and helmet go hand in hand. So I would suggest the Soaker riding pants from Royal Enfield, and Trip Machine Brute motorcycle riding boots are very good upgrade from these Royal Enfield ones. Those are really sturdy and you can use them for touring as well. And then the jacket, I would recommend Explorer V4 riding jacket from Royal Enfield. There is also a discount going on Amazon, so I will put that link on the description also. And then the helmet. I think RE does a very good job of getting some decent helmets which are under 10k, because if you want really good helmets, the budget is, I mean, that's just the way it is. I don't control it, it's just the way it is. So yeah, good decision of not going all in. I wish everybody thought like that. Niranjan Joshi 4276. Is it worth buying the Continental GT650 now, or should I wait for the Continental GT750? I'm planning to buy the bike in February. Also love your Interceptor and all the DIY videos. Thank you so much. And I think I answered this question because someone asked a similar question. If you wait for the 751, it is just endless. So might as well buy a used Continental GT right now and then use it for as long as you can. And when the bike comes out next year, make up your mind if you want to sell the existing 650 and get a 751. At least you are not depriving yourself of feeling that feeling of riding a 650. Go for it, I would say. Anime_lover. Sir, I got my Interceptor 650, but the petrol tank on top has some rust on it. How to remove it? Just take it to the service center, ask them to do the cleaning job. They do a pretty good job. They'll remove all the fuel from it and they'll just scrub a lot in the inside and then treat it also with some other paint or primer, which will prevent future rust from happening. That's the usual process of it. But you can look into getting a new tank. It just costs about what, 9,000 rupees. The single tone one. The double tone one will cost about 11,000 and the chrome one will cost upwards of that also. Yeah. Yeram Setti Venkatesh. Hi bro, help me how to fix Himalayan 450 fog light clamps. If we fix it on forks, the front fender which covers the suspension will get broken. If we fix it, crash guard lights are not functional during road curves. Please help. Thanks Venkatesh. I will look into this because I also am planning to install some accessory fog lights on my Himalayan 450, and as soon as I source one, I'll let you know. So far, the best case of action would be to install those on your on the front of your tank guards, which comes OEM from the company. That's the best possible place to mount your fog lights. Sam here, -S5N. Hello SG, sorry for the delay. I want to go long touring with a pillion and luggage. My budget is 2 lakh rupees. Will TVS Ronin be a good choice, or should I look for another machine? Thank you. Any bike that you want to take on touring is a good choice. Just make sure that the bike has a decent ground clearance, the bike has adjustable rear suspensions for preload because you'll have some load on it, and the bike has tubeless wheels, and the bike has service centers which are willing to service that bike anywhere that you go, and easy service paths. If you have a bike that kind of checks all these things that I've just spoken about, then great, go for it. Any bike you take will be worthy and will give you a really good time. It's not the bike, it's the rider. Next one, Nagesh N-Y3N. Hi bro, remember me? I comment on your every video. Thank you so much for doing that. And the surprising thing is that you reply to every one of my comments. Well, that's the game. I love it. I'm trying to make a community here. So hats off to you, bro. And if, can you please give me a shout out? It would make my day, bro. Well, this is a shout out. Ritvik Mondal 8574. Does performance air filter increase mileage, or is it a myth? I think I answered this question in one of the reels. So anyways, I'll answer it again. No, your mileage completely depends on how you ride your motorcycle. So how much you accelerate, how quickly you accelerate, how frequently you shift gears, how long you're able to maintain a steady RPM over a particular gear, that's what the mileage is dependent on. It doesn't depend on the aftermarket exhaust or the full system one or the air filter or anything else. So it's just a myth. It might increase your performance, but in mileage, it has got nothing to do with the mileage. A1X45H. I'm having a hard time finding a good mobile holder for my Classic 350. Bobo one I got, but it isn't up to the mark. Slides when there's uneven roads. I ordered a cheap quad lock copy. Let's see how it works. What do you use? Any recommendations? I use the original quad lock and it has worked wonders for me so far. So I don't have any other recommendations. It's the best, but it just is a little pricey. All right, next one. Prabhakar Shirke7747. Hey Shri, started following your content. Love the way you explain things. My question is, can you please suggest me the necessary modifications needed for Himalayan 450? Please do take my question. Love your content and be safe and strong. Thank you so much for watching my content and my videos and commenting on them and for asking this question. So, the number one modification that I can suggest you for a Himalayan 450 is go for the touring seat, because a stock seat is not that good. I, on the other hand, have a rally seat which increases the seat height by 859 millimeters. So, amazing seat. Definitely go for it. I would suggest that. Wondering _ packet. Any chances those Norton ADVs might launch in India next year? Absolutely 100%. KPN S04. Hi boss, I have Scrambler 400XC bike. When I leave handlebar on a straight highway and a good no bump road, it leans towards right and handle is bit wobbly. I told this at the service center. They took the bike for a spin and they didn't find this issue, but when I ride it, it's still there. My bike is brand new, just 2 months old. Issue started from beginning. Please suggest me what to do. Nice videos, man. Love it. Subscriber from around 20K. Thank you so much. I tip my hat to you, sir. There are a couple of things that you can do to solve this wobbling issue of yours. Number one and easiest and cheapest way is to check your tire pressures. If the tire pressure is adequate, then move on to getting your spokes aligned and getting your wheel aligned. And number three is to get the suspension oil checked. If it is uneven on either side, then it might lead to the bike leaning towards the right. And the last one is to check the cone set of the bike. So if all these things are in order, your bike will not wobble. And if it still wobbles, then the tire is the fault. That's how I zeroed in on the wobble issue on the Interceptor. The tire usually is the main culprit. So before you spend your money on tires, just get these cheap things done through the service center. It'll be pretty good. Shankar Narayanan 3384. Hi Shri Anna, love your content. Suggestions for a budget rear suspension replacement for Hunter 350 please. Hoping the knee heals back to normal soon. Inshallah. All right, the knee is healing. Look, yes, it's all good. Thank you so much for your wishes. So, about the budget rear suspension for Hunter 350, go with the way 2-speed ones. Those are pretty good. They have some sort of adjustability, and fun fact, their preload springs are custom tailored to your weight. So you can't go wrong with it. Definitely go for way 2-speed. Speed 9999. I own a Bear 650, but I usually commute to the office on a smaller cc bike for convenience. The Bear 650 is mainly my weekend ride. I have a couple of questions. Number one, since I only take the Bear 650 out on weekends, is that sufficient to keep the engine in good condition, or should I ride it more frequently, say every few days, for better engine health? And number two, from what I understand, riding a high cc bike regularly in heavy traffic can cause faster wear on the clutch plates due to frequent gear shifts and heat buildup. Is this accurate? It's your bike, it's your prized possession. You've bought it because you love it. So just ride it and don't worry about the clutch plates having a faster wear. Remember, a clutch plate is a consumable item. It is designed in such a way that it will get bad over a course of time. So might as well use it and get the experience from the bike that you've really worked hard in achieving. So just take your bike out whenever you want. If it's on weekends, great. If it's on frequent rides, like say 3 days in a week, even better. You'll get to enjoy it even more. And yes, that is sufficient enough to keep your bike in good health. Not a problem. Green Blue 2888. Hey Shri, another 450 GS follow-up question from last week. You said if it's around 6 lakh on road, it might be worth exchanging my Hemi for it. Cool, but bro, with all this ethanol blend petrol everywhere and the 450 GS running a 13:1 compression ratio, it basically wants XP100 like a rich kid demanding bottled Swiss water. But the problem is, I travel to places where even normal petrol is a blessing. Forget XP100. So yeah, the bike can go anywhere in India, but only if anywhere happens to have a fancy petrol pump that stocks 100 octane. With the twin cylinder mileage also being on the lower side, I'll spend more time hunting for petrol bunks than actually riding. Kinda defeats the whole adventure vibe, no? And one more thing, the bike isn't going to be E20 compliant, right? Because if it's not, then I'm basically feeding it ethanol blended fuel it doesn't even like. Feels like the 450 GS is the kind of bike that wants gourmet fuel while I'm out here just trying to ride. Seems Hemi 450 is the reasonable all-rounder for India. Your thoughts on this? Excellent question and pretty good insight on this. But you have to consider the fact that it will be assembled here in India. So there are no reason for it to not be E20 compatible. It will be E20 and so on. So do not really worry about it. It is a rabbit hole to venture into because the mind will not stop speculating about this. I suggest try to focus on the positive things, and when it comes out, then we'll have a short answer. But till then, why worry about it? But it looks good, right? And even if it is E20 compliant, there are a lot of ways to tackle it. Yes, it's an inevitable thing, but you can use those octane boosters and your fuel injector cleaners. You just put on your fuel tank and it'll just clean throttle body. Don't worry about it too much. Just focus on enjoying the ride. Srikanth KM385. Hello Srinivas, I really like your vibe. So can you start a beginner series of motorcycling and explaining about the intricate parts of a motorcycle? You are doing an awesome job with your shorts, but a more structured learning series or a playlist will do better. Already your channel is the best in content. Just a quick question. I am more of a cruiser type guy and I love the Super Meteor 650 as my third motorcycle. Plan to purchase this in January. Thoughts on this? I have Activa for lugging groceries and Pulsar 150 for office travel, around 100 to 200 trip. So yeah, not much experience on handling heavy machinery. Already test rode the bike multiple times and I feel that it works for me. Your valuable inputs will surely be of help to me. Yes, that is a very, very good question. Super Meteor 650 is pretty good. Go for it. And it does have stiffer suspensions, but if you're okay with it, go for it. About starting a beginner series, it's a good idea. I can look into that. But so far, I'm also trying to curate a playlist and where I will just place all the videos that I've already made of motorcycles, which will help people really zone in on the video that they want. So yes, I am taking my sweet time in curating the playlists, which you can see on the playlist section on the channel, by the way. That effectively concludes this Q&A video. Thank you so much for asking these wonderful questions. I will again put up a question/poll on Monday, so you can ask all those questions. And by Thursday, I will make this video, and by Friday, I will release this video. By the following Friday, that is. And again, thank you so much for being along, asking these questions, and being a part of this community that I'm trying to build. Thank you so much. This is Shri. See you next week. And look, I can walk. Ta-da! There is some improvement, right? Slight limp, but it's fine. I'm loving it. Anyways, see you next week.